For my art history final project, I chose to do the Minecraft architecture choice, where I built a Roman house that was owned by rich Romans in the Roman Empire. The outside of the house is very plain and boring, but that's because these houses were lined up along the street, and the main features of the house lie on the inside. With the fact that these houses are along the street come these rooms, which were these shop stalls. These shop stalls were the earliest version of street food, where these black dots were the holes in the counter where they would prepare and cook food for customers that would walk up along the street. We have one on this side along with one on this side. Walking into the resident part of the house, we are met with a fosse, which is Latin for a passageway. Although these were only little passageways, these were heavily decorated just like the rest of the house was. Next, we are met with the center room, which is called the atrium, that also includes the impluvium. The impluvium is a hole in the ceiling along with a divot in the ground that was used to collect rainfall when it would rain, and this rainwater would be used for household uses and purposes like drinking water and washing. Along with the use of water, it also allowed for a place for light to come into the house. Next, one of our 4 cubiculums of the house is a bedroom. These bedrooms were very, very decorated, whether the wall or the patterned flooring. These bedrooms were highly decorated to show off the status and the wealth of the family that lived in this house. Going along to the next cubiculum, we have a library. Many rich Romans who were able to afford these houses were also literate, which most of the population during the Roman Empire was not literate. So these households would build libraries in their house to show off their status in literacy, which most people did not have. Going along to the next cubiculum, we have a private meeting room or office room that the head of the house would use. This was not the head of the household's main reception area for clients, but it was a room for private meeting that would be used if necessary. Going along to our last cubiculum, we have another bedroom with, again, highly decorated walls with frescoes and patterned flooring. Many of these bedrooms at the time would have multiple beds in them to accommodate the multiple members of the house. Next, along both sides of the atrium, we have the alleys. The true purpose for these alleys are still unknown, but many skepticize that these rooms were used to display imagines or death masks from past fallen family members. So here's one on this side and on this side too. Next, we go into the tricilium, which is the Romans' formal dining room. Again, just like the rest of the house, this room is highly decorated with frescoes covering every wall and a patterned flooring to go along with it. They would eat, the way that they would eat was on couches facing the ways that they are with a table in the middle. Yeah. This was their formal dining room. Going along, we have on the opposite side, the Kalina, also what we would call a kitchen. This is where most of the housework and the food was made. Usually the lady of the household would be in here most times. Going along next, in the center back of the house, we have the tablinum, which was the reception table. This is where the head of the house would meet and receive clients. This was his main meeting room, and it's where the head of the office would receive and do his work. Next, we have another fosse passageway, again highly decorated, that led to the peristilium. The peristilium, or sometimes called the hortus, is the garden courtyard that would be at the very back of the house, that was used to cultivate greenery and sometimes used to provide relief from the dark and smaller rooms of the house, as again, much of the houses back then did not have ways of light to have light. That is my Roman house for my art history project.